So I wanted to talk to you guys real briefly about why I have taken a bit of an absence when it comes to content creating. I haven't made a dedicated, normal 16 by 9 aspect ratio video or review or impressions or even really a podcast in the last 2.5 to going on 3 weeks. And the reason for that has been that I need to take a break from mental health. I know a lot of people talk about mental health. Some of you may be sick of hearing that, but it's a very real thing. And it's something that should be, I think, more normalized and talking about. So for me, particularly, the last 5 to 6 weeks have been an absolute roller coaster. And every year on March 13th, I get severely depressed. And I mean, like, to the point, don't talk to me, leave me alone, shut myself in the room, depressed. And that's because it's my first child would have been 15 years old this year. 14 years ago, my daughter passed away. Her name is Kaylee Ray, and she passed away, you know, sudden infant death syndrome. That's as much as I'm gonna really discuss. It's a very hard thing for me to sit and deal with and process. And so I had to work through that. I have three other daughters as well. I'm a girl dad. So on the same day that my firstborn's birthday, where she would have been 15, I've also got my third born daughter who turned 10 years old, right? And then 2 days later, my youngest who turned 3. So I had to be very present for all of them, that are here. And it's not easy, dealing with grief. And honestly, this is the first death that I've ever had to experience in my life, especially with any type of friend or family. My firstborn was the first person in my life to die, and I was the last person that got to hold her. And that is something, I've had people reach out and say, hey, you've got three other daughters, focus on them, don't think about your daughter to pass. Everyone grieves differently, but in no way, shape, or form am I able, or should anyone be able, who has lost a child, should they be expected to forget the child that passed away or forget someone that they love that's passed away? That's just been, you know, I understand people mean well. I get it. People mean well. But a lot of people aren't qualified to talk about certain things. I'm not even an expert on grief either, and I'm a psych major. I have a degree in psychology. I'm someone who, I know myself well enough to where I need to take steps back and, just sit and process things as absolutely best I can. And with this whole situation with, the realization, because I have friends and people I know, their kids are making 14, 15. They were born the same year that my firstborn was. And it's hard. That's very soul crushing because no parent should ever have to bury their child. And for me to have had to do that when I was 20 to 21 it's soul crushing, to be honest. I've never recovered from it. I am in therapy. I've been in therapy for the last 14 years. I have a therapist who's very good. He's helped me work through a lot of things, a lot of childhood trauma, because, I come from a very broken family. I've been, mentally, verbally, emotionally, and physically abused. I've been raped before. That's something that a lot of people find, oh, you can't talk about that. No, I was a kid that was raped for a whole year. I was in a situation where one of my parents allowed me to be raped for their own financial benefit. And that's something that I struggle with. That I struggle with having siblings that have been not the greatest. I've got one that's been great to me, and another one that I found out was a sibling later on that's been absolutely one of my best friends. But I've been through a lot of traumatic things, broken family, horrible relationship with my siblings, horrible relationship with my parents, and going through all the stuff that I've went through. And losing my daughter, especially when I lost her, I didn't have any family support whatsoever. And having to be in that dark place and being emotionally just vulnerable, it did a number on me, you know. I I grieve. I'm always grieving. There's not a day that goes by I don't think about my youngest or any of my daughters really, but I mean my oldest. I don't. There's not a day I don't think about her, and especially with the fact that my other three daughters, they all look alike and they all look like me. So I deal with that grief as best I can, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So if you're wondering why I haven't made regular content, it's because I just haven't been in a mental place to do it. Sitting at this desk recording the content has not been easy. It's been very, and I understand being a content creator, you need to make content. You need to regularly make content because taking time off can be career suicide. But what I've done is I took a lot of content that I had and I basically uploaded it to in vertical format with captions and all that. I literally had 2.5 to 3 weeks of short form media that I can push out to Twitter or X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. That way, there's still content that's coming out. For any companies that have wanted to work with me or are wondering, hey, where's your content at? I just needed that time to recuperate, to focus on me, to focus on my family, to get myself back in a better mental place because it's hard. I wonder what my daughter would look like if she was 15, if she was still here. You know, would she be getting ready for prom or school dance, Sadie Hawkins or anything like that? It's hard to wrap your head around what could have been, right? And I know we're not supposed to focus on what could have been, what should have been, what is or what isn't, but I can't help but think about stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I had to take time for me, but I took time and I prepped, for my brand, my outlet. I prepped it for taking time off. But I will be getting back on the horse. You will be getting regular content from me as time is going on. But I just wanted to share with you guys why that I haven't been making content, and that's why. So, with that being said, hopefully that explains things to you guys who have been wondering, hey, are you okay? And I want to give a special thank you to people who have been reaching out to me who have um, my sister Chanel, absolutely my best friend and my sister. Thank you for talking to me and being there for me. Um, Avedon Smith, thank you for reaching out. So many other people, they who and such who have reached out and just been talking and being a support and an anchor. Gabe and Chick, Amanda, thank you also because it's not been easy. Also I want to give a you know I want to give a special thank you to Jarek. Jarek, formerly of Square Enix, currently at PlayStation, for taking the time out of his day to just reach out and talk to me. You know, I, to work through a lot of this struggle that I'm having. Also thank you to Ains, from Season Gaming. I want to thank you for reaching out, taking the time to talk to me. It's not easy. Losing a child is one of the most difficult things any person can go through, and that recovery period, working through it, is just not easy. But thank you to everyone who's been reaching out. Thank you to my audience, to people around the world. I am very grateful to each and every one of you. And yeah, we're gonna get back on the horse. Got content coming, reviews, impressions, so much more. And yeah, thank you guys. Um, thank you. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace out.